Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Sisters and brothers, who will win the war of Armageddon? Before you can go to war, if you expect to be successful, to know who your enemy is, who your enemies are, to understand your enemy, to be able to outthink your enemy. But first, you must be able to identify your enemy. And you must have a vision, see, of winning. Otherwise, why go to war? Your war is a vision unless you attack. It's a vision. Even if you attack, you're still trying to maintain a vision. You're still trying to maintain a vision. That's why you're defending yourself or you're attacking, because you're either trying to preserve a vision or you're trying to create a vision. Either way, it's about vision. So someone's attacking you, trying to assert their vision, destroy your vision. So about vision. People without vision perish. Do you have a vision? Where's your vision? See, our people has been given the enemy's vision, which is your destruction. And they have the demons working 24/7 to convince you that is the correct vision. Democracy, America, see, capitalism, Christianity. That's your enemy's vision. If you don't understand that if you adopt your enemy's vision, you are self-destructing. That's a simple truth. You have been given the enemy's vision, so you help the enemy build his vision. That's the whole story about Pharaoh and the children of Israel in Egypt, because they was put to work to create Pharaoh's vision, which was destructive for them. Because Pharaoh said, let's limit them, let's deal shrewdly with them, right? Kill their sons, spare their women, right? And eventually throw them all into the sea. That's Pharaoh's vision that you're helping to create. And these demons are making sure that you stay on course, you stay on track with that vision. That's the demons, master's children. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this vision. We're going to try, and the main purpose here is to get you to understand your vision, right? Understand the times, know your enemies, identify your enemies. Because most of you have no idea who your enemy is, who your enemies are. Most of you have no idea. You think your enemy is the brother or sister down the street. Well, some of them are your enemies if they're demons. But you don't even recognize them as demons. There's niggas you got to kill because they're another gang. See, they're the Bloods. See, or they're the Crips. You see. Or they're some other gang. So you have no idea. So if you defeat them, then what? And then you have these Negroes telling you, man, well, we got to fight the man. We got to fight the man. And we got to get some guns so we can fight the man. And if you listen to that retard, then you're more retarded than that retard is. Because you're going to get guns from the man to kill the man. And then when you run out of bullets, you're going to go back to the man and say, give me some bullets to kill you with, because they ain't producing the damn thing. And on that score, I'm going to say something, then we'll go right into the presentation. See, minstrel, because he's a minstrel. You know what a minstrel is? Back in House Negroes, back in the day, the black face and all that kind of stuff, those are minstrels. That's what he is, entertainer. He tried to get back into that after Elijah Muhammad departed. See, he don't want you to know that part. But he's telling you, he's trying to sell you on this. No, we're going to stay here. We're going to work with Massa. We're going to bring the NOI. They're trying to switch their story up a little bit now because they're under attack, they're under fire. But his time is numbered. He won't last. He won't last the summer, guaranteed. He'd be lucky if he lasts this month. But if that vision he's selling you on, oh, we're going to stay with the man. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to get 6 states, right? Really? Okay. You heard of Mexico? Right? Have you heard of the reservations? So you're going to get 6 states next to the man that already showed you how he deal with his neighbors, how he deal with people he's already got that depend on him, that he has conquered. He already showed you. And then even if you was to get those things, like I say, he'll show you what he would do, you still be dependent upon him to make you great, to build your nation. See, Elijah Muhammad said, Elijah Muhammad only said that if, only if, right, they would prevent us from leaving here. His first choice, get the hell out of here. But see, Pharaoh to tell you lies. No, Elijah Muhammad said, we'd be a fool to want to stay here in the land of our imprisonment. But he said, if we prevent it from leaving for any reason, then we should have a separate territory of our own, and we should be supported from them, right, for a certain period of time, financial aid, period. This ain't Farrakhan's program. He wants to stay here. That's his first choice and only choice. Legion, right? Please don't make me need a country. So, but if this vision he's trying to sell you on, because that's what he's doing, because he's Master's boy, they own him. Why isn't he preparing you for it? If eventually he claims you're going to get it. So why is he preparing you for it? Is he preparing doctors? He's preparing lawyers. He's preparing technicians. He's preparing engineers. He's preparing architects. Is he preparing those? Carpenters, bricklayers, electricians. Are you preparing mathematicians? Are you preparing that? Because if that's the vision he's selling, he should be preparing for it, shouldn't he? If he thought he was really going to achieve it, then wouldn't he be preparing? Because what if they gave it to him there tomorrow? Then what? You don't go there with your basketball? You think that's going to, you're going to have King James, right? You don't go there and he's going to build your houses for you? Who's going to do all the work? Who's going to build? Who's going to set up your electricity? Who's going to set up your grid? Who's going to do all this stuff? See, if Farrakhan was telling the truth, he'd be preparing for it. That's how you can tell. Either Quran tells you that. If you was a believer, you'd be preparing. If you was going to fight in the battle, you'd be preparing for the battle. Remember the Quran? It says, oh, if you was really going to help us fight, you'd been preparing for the fight. So he was going to pay and get a D60. He'll be preparing you for it. So if you got it, because he's not preparing you, because he know you damn well that ain't what he's about. That's just a lying vision he's selling you, so you can keep giving him money, right, to keep his little guitar going, little violin, right, his little bullshit, he can run all over the place, pimping his sisters out, because that's what he's doing. Elijah Muhammad never did anything like that, pimping his sisters out, because the Negroes that's with him, they not selling them damn rags that he called Final Call. They ain't selling that stuff. You got to beg them to sell 2 or 3 papers. So he got the sisters doing fundraisers to keep him. He's a pimp, and all you are just pimps, little pimps helping him pimp the sisters. It's sad. Because you ain't doing nothing about it. So that means you're a punk too then. You're a punk or you're a pimp. If you letting this Negro pimp your sisters and you claim you're an FOI and you letting him do that and you ain't saying anything and then you going to step to you an FOI? No, you ain't. Because he's been pimping you for 42 years and apparently you like it. He's been slocking to you for 42 years. Apparently you like it. And he didn't even give you no grease. He's been silent to you. Well, he got to use some mechanical thing now because he's disemboweled now. So maybe his son. Well, yeah, his son's his son's pimping him. His son's he's doing the work now. He's doing the heavy lifting. Got you bent over, and you like it because you ain't doing anything about it. Most of your demons anyway. So he's not preparing. You can tell what a person's about if Quran tells you. If they're preparing, that means they ain't about it. See? Oh, the house on fire. Okay, let me finish watching NBA. You think they believe the house on fire? Well, I got roll up and take a few more Z's. He ain't preparing you for a damn thing because he know he ain't about doing anything for you. He can take it from you, and all he been taking from you, he hasn't built damn thing. All that money's in his name. It's not the nation's name, like Elijah Muhammad did. That's why they got them. They was pissed off. It's in his name, right? To roll over to his family, right? In the event that he's not here, because they already set up in Saudi Arabia, because they're gonna disappear like you wouldn't believe. If he was died there tomorrow, they wouldn't be around for the funeral. When when Elijah Muhammad departed, these clowns took off. The Message family, they took off. The only one stuck around was Ross because he wanted to get hold of all the money and everything. But he took control. He was even effectively he was effectively out of the nation. He was disbarred. Ishmael, the one that's talking all the time, his mother and them, they was moving out. Why did they move to Mexico? They got out of the country. They were so scared. All these clowns, they're already prepared. The day they hear, oh, he's not breathing anymore, they're going to disappear like you wouldn't believe with the money and everything. And that'll be the final call. That will be the final call of the NOI because with no money, he's not leaving any. He hasn't created a successor. He hasn't named a successor. He called all the so-called ministers student ministers. That means they don't know shit, right? And then you have stupid Ishmael probably on the phone talking, hey, I'm talking to him on the wheel. But he won't be long because he won't have that house he got because all the money's going to be gone. And all Farrakhan's family is gone, right? Gone. With all the money and left the NOI with nothing, no leadership or anything. It'd be worse than when Elijah Muhammad departed. And that'll be the end of it. Total end of it. Confused with Scientology and everything else, right? Sunniism. It's totally destroyed. And anybody got a brain, half a brain could see that one. That it would not survive the death of Farrakhan. Would not survive it. Not in any form. Not any form. See? So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. Now, I named it the symbol for the circle called pi. P-H-I. That's what I named it. So we're going to deal with that. That's symbol for a circle, completeness. And you'll see why when we get into it. See? So we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about our enemies, talk about the times. That's important. It's important. And that's the first thing we're going to pick up on. Let's go to the next. Make a little note here. See, pi, the mathematical equation for that is 22 divided by 7. Well, there's 22 chapters of the angel, and there's 7 seals. That's pi. Why? It's not coincidence. Because it's the completion. It's the final revelation for this period of time, for the end times. That's why it was sealed, to make sure it couldn't be corrupted, anything. So Allah will perfect his light. He didn't say it will corrupt his light. So you can't corrupt something that's sealed. You have to break the seal first. If you have wine that's sealed, you have to break the seal before you can go in and poison the wine. So that means the angel is not corrupted because it's sealed, unless someone can prove to you they broke the seals other than myself. And there's no one has broken those seals. Have them show you the proof. Elijah Muhammad didn't claim to haven't broke the seals, and Farad didn't make that claim either. Because only Suleiman would be the only one to break those seals, and that would be that, because that is a scripture for the end, defines everything, explains everything, it turns the lights on to everything. Because before you can have a judgment, you have to have the evidence. All the evidence has to come in. Everything has to be clear, identify everything. And you can't do that with the Quran, and you can't do that with the sealed Bible, because you don't know what all those things mean. You're trying to figure, guessing. Even in the Quran, we're going to show that in a minute. They're guessing. But that gets back into time. See, we understand we're time travelers. See, every second, every time you're always moving, and time is always moving. See, the universe is always moving. That's what time is. Time is just a measurement, right, of the universal flow. And we determine what that flow is because we create that flow. We give that flow form. I put it that way because the universe is always moving. The point is what form does it take? See, because it's just energy is constantly moving. Energy constantly moving. It doesn't ever stand still. It's constantly moving. So therefore, but we give it form. So we gave it the stars and the moons and the planets, the constellations and galaxies. We did that. We gave it form. So time is constantly moving because the earth, the universe is constantly changing, and we give it form. So we determine what that change is going to be. In other words, we determine what the future is going to be. But we have an adversary right now that's trying to change the future the way they want it to be. So we have two divergent, not divergent, right? Yeah, divergent, right? Two divergent. Divergent means, convergent means you're coming together. Divergent means you're going set in two directions. We got two divergent visions, and one is destructive to the other. See? But we're moving through time. So some of us can't keep up. Because if you can't keep up, you're lost in the past. If you're lost in the past, that's death. Because everybody's dead. People that's dead, that means they're lost in the past. They exist in the past. They don't exist now. They're lost in the past. They stop moving through time. They don't move through time as an individual. All of us constantly always move through time because our DNA is constantly moving through time. The point is, does it take form? See, because our fathers gave us form. We were energy. Our fathers gave us form, sperm. And we did the rest. We took that, right? The DNA, the form that our fathers gave us, and we took that, right, and used the DNA from our mothers to give ourselves the current form we are in, right, to keep controlling our movement through time. But we see a lot of us are walking dead because they're lost in time. Some are 1,400 years behind in time. That's the Sunnis. They're 1,400 years back in time. Then you got the Catholics. They're 2,000 years back in time. See, we got so-called they're not really so. I mean, you might think they're back in time, but actually they're not back in far time. You think they are, right? People that follow Judaism, see, they made some updates. The Christians, they made some updates too. See, they were Catholicists, right? But they mixed mathematics. So they brought themselves up time. So they are competitors now because they right on time with us. See, but we kept up with them. They're Adam. They kept up with them because they try to lose us back in time. They try to, and many of you they have back in time. See, it's my job to try to bring you up because you have to be up in sync with the current time to create the future for yourself. Otherwise, you're lost in time. It means you're just dead, and pretty soon you're gonna be forgotten. These time makers, they lost. They can't keep up. See, their minds are too weak, so they're trying to hold time back. Oh, Message, man, that's last. We don't want to deal with this message. That's it. The crime, that's it. That's it. See? Seal Bible, that's it. And some of you go further back than that. See? Because they can't keep up. Because only those that can keep up is the ones that create time. See, the ones, they're not creating time. They're not creating time. They're trying to hold on to time. So they're not creating time. That means they're not moving forward. Time has to be created. We have to give it form. That's what I mean by create time. They're not giving it form. They're trying to hold it back. But time is constantly moving. So they get further and further back in time every single second. Because the angel is the book, right, for the time, right now. Not the Quran. Quran had 1,000-year reign, if you understand chapter 20. Now, it has benefits, right, but it's not creating time. See? It gives you the strength to keep up so you can create time. Because the angel gives you, right, the vision so you can create time. Then you have 5 fundamental principles of pillars of Islam. See, those things you need so you can create time, our time. The devil's trying to create their time. And they're desperate now because they don't have the pressures coming too great where they won't be able to be crushed before they can finish creating a time that will allow them to continue. See? Remember the story of Adam and Eve? They was only told they had 6 days, but the serpent convinced them that if you eat a knowledge of true of good evil, right, then you'll live forever. If they get rid of us. See, you understand these things. The knowledge of tree of good evil. That's talking about the demons and the blacks. See, the demons are slave masters' children through rape. There's black-faced children. But the saints, right, they're the original people, right? And they're the tree of knowledge of good. The tree of knowledge of evil, they're the Christians, Christian blacks. But he said, just get rid of all of them. So you got to get rid of all of them. You got to get rid of all trace of it. Because when you eat something, you consume it. You get taken out of resistance. And the serpent told him, if you can get rid of them, right, then you can live forever. So you got to get rid of our vision. Get rid of us. They already destroyed the Christian, already destroyed most of our vision using the Christians because Christians got their vision. But they want to get rid of it. They want to take no chance to get rid of all of us. They're trying to impose their vision on us. They've already succeeded in many cases. They got many of us right in line with their vision, Christianity. And what is that? It's not a vision at all because it's based on nothing. You can't prove any of it. It's based on an invisible kingdom. It's like, remember the story about the emperor had no clothes? So he's walking around with no clothes, right? See? But his dictate is, since he's the emperor, he has clothes. So you have to imagine he has clothes, but he don't have none. And the Christians have no clothes. Because all they're talking about, oh, where is it? Oh, well, it's invisible. You see, that's a cop-out. It's invisible. The whole reality that they're selling you, if that's not a flim-flam, what is it? Here's this stuff that's going to kill you. Where? Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. But you got to give me $100, right? But it will heal you. You can't see it. You just have to have faith in it. See? You just take it, right? And you take it in your house. It's in this bag. You take it in your house, right? And you sit down and you have faith in this thing right here. Because that what Slim Man tell you. I'm going to give you this handkerchief. And you pray on this. I'm going to pray on this thing. You pray, this handkerchief will heal you. See, send me a handkerchief. I'll pray on it, send it back to you, and it's going to heal you. See? No evidence, nothing. Just, and you still buying that? Where's heaven? I don't know. Where's hell? I don't know. Where's Jesus? I don't know. Where's the devil? I don't know. You can't see him. Where's the angel? I don't know. You can't see him. What happened after you die? I don't know, but I think you're going either heaven or hell. Where's heaven and hell? I don't know. That's what they're selling you. And you giving all your life and everything into that. It's not even a vision. What did the lesson say? Why they love the devil? Because it gives them nothing. A people without a vision perish. You have you have no vision. What they're giving to you is not. It's like you know. You know what a mirage is? When you're in the desert, you get a mirage. You think there's water, and it's not. It's forgiving you. It's not real. By definition, it's not real because you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't talk to it. You just have to believe in it. Okay, brothers and sisters. So here we go. 22 divided by 7 equals pi. Pi is circles, completion. That's what's telling you. Angel is a mathematical book. Where they, some refer to it as the book of Revelations, right? The gospel, right? That was given to Jesus, but it was given to him sealed. So if it given to him sealed, that means it was to be revealed in. See, they was given a book that was sealed. The sealed book was their guidance. Adam was told he would be given guidance. Ask these Sunnis, what was the guidance that was given to Adam? God said he would give them guidance. What God said he would give them guidance. So what was the nature of the guidance? They say they're the people of the book, so the Bible must have been what to give them guidance. But guidance to do what? To make mischief and shed blood, because that was the nature of their rule. I mean, see, you don't have logic and reason, because there's no logic and reason in Sunnism. Elijah Muhammad told you, Islam is mathematics and mathematics Islam. That means it's math and math. So you have to apply logic and reason, but you don't apply logic and reason, so therefore you don't believe it's mathematics, or whatever you believe is not mathematics. Because if it is, you apply logic and reason to it. And there's no mathematics, no logical reason to Sunnism or Farrakhanism. There's no logical reason to it. That's why he don't do Q&A, because you can easily destroy, debunk everything he's saying, because there's logical reason to it. Just, oh, well, Farrakhan says it must be true. So that's what it's telling you. It's telling you that's the complete, because we have to have a book that gets through this, the worst time in history. And if Allah sends prophets and messengers for all times of calamities and all kinds of problems, right? Then you mean at a time of unprecedented trouble, he wouldn't send anybody? He wouldn't raise anybody for that time? But he said for all other times, but that's the worst time at all. And then that's the time he left you with nothing. And no guidance, no book, anything. See? Because there's no book like the angel. You don't have any book out there like the angel. Because the angel reveals everything. That's why they call it Revelations. Because it reveals everything. For this time, it shows, it lights up everything. Because America is being lit up now. This truth is lighting up. But pretty soon, you're going to have 12,000, right? Message of the covenant, right? Bright lights, 1,000 million watts. Going to light this place up like never before. Told. It won't be nothing. It won't be a corner of darkness anywhere. God will be totally dispelled. Okay, the Quran and the angel. The Quran had a 1,000-year reign. Chapter 20 tells you that. 20 is 1,000-year reign. They won't tell you the Quran's last revelation. Nothing ever after the Quran. But what about the revelation before the Quran? What does the Quran? Then the Quran says you have to believe what was revealed before thee and until thee was after thee. I mean, does the Quran itself say it's the final revelation? Is that what Farad said? Because if that's the case, then why did the Quran says, Elijah Muhammad tell you they're going to stop writing history now? There's going to be no more history written anymore? You say that? That means scientists write history every 5,000 years, so they're going to stop writing it. So the Quran's going to guide us all the way into for the next 76 trillion years. That all we need is the Quran. When the Quran to tell you about COVID? When the Quran tell you about how to build up a civilization? Where's about architectures? What kind of architecture? Where tell you all that kind of stuff? Where's tell you about what's going to happen 10,000 years from now? You mean the universe is not going to change? The universe is going to stay the same exactly like it is right now? Right now, the Quran is already irrelevant because after 500 years, it hasn't had one victory. It doesn't explain anything that's happening right now. And even to the fact that, to the extent it does, the Sunnis that claim they understand the Quran, they don't know what any of these things mean. And we're going to talk about those things. They don't know, they don't understand their own book, so they say it's a fine revelation, they don't even understand it. But the angel, they tell you there'd be the Mahdi and Jesus at the end. Now, why do they say the Mahdi? There'd be two at the end. So, why you need two? Because Mahdi, he's going to bring the Quran, right? He's the walking, talking Quran. But Jesus, he going to come with his revelation. Obviously, his revelation will be the angel because it's sealed. So now it's going to be unsealed. It tells you it's going to be unsealed at the end. And only he can break those seals. That'd be the book that you should look for. Because it reveals everything. Okay, let's move a couple things here. Let's look at the golden calf. Where's the golden calf? Do you know? If you're Sunni, tell me what the golden calf is. Tell me explicitly, detailed. See, not to guess. Tell me what the golden calf is and show me some scholarship on it. Tell me the golden calf, because you don't know. It's in the Quran, but you don't know what the golden calf is. You got conjecture, but you have no idea what the golden calf is. And it's mentioned in both the Quran and the Bible. You don't know what it is. And the Christians don't know what it is. And the Jews don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. They're guessing. There are all kinds of ideas. See? But then you'll tell you exactly what the golden calf is. It's Sunniism. I'm not going to the angel and show prove it, but those that you study angel, right, know it. Anybody who wants to study angel, right, don't cost you anything. We'll teach it to you, and you'll see right away the golden calf is not a mystery. It's very easy to see what the golden calf is. It's Sunniism. That Aaron, who we're going to talk about in a minute, Farrakhan, right, had the people worshiping in Elijah Muhammad's absence. Now, what is that's one way of looking at it, because what did he have in worship? Sunniism, which Elijah Muhammad told him not to do it. He wouldn't even allow them into the temple. So he done changed the name to Mars. He's worshiping their Ramadan, their fake Ramadan, which is based on a lunar calendar. Have worshiping with Sunnis who call their God a fraud and their messenger a liar, Elijah a liar. That's what Aaron would be doing in Elijah's absence. So right away you can identify who the golden calf is, right? It's Sunniism, because that's what he's driving them to. Did you know that before? Okay, if it's not Sunniism, then tell me with some knowledge what is the golden calf, because you don't know. You're walking around blind, claiming you know things, you don't know anything. See, that means you're walking slow through time. That means you're going to be lost in time, and you lost time means you're dead. You may be walking dead, but you presume be walking anymore. Because if time says, if we create time, right, we will succeed. But one of the things we'll do, one of the first things we'll do, right, is purify America. It means we got to burn it up. So if you still lost in time, you're still back here, you get burned up because you still lost time. See, you still in that time frame, but that time frame that we create determines America will burn up. So you didn't catch up in time, you still lost back in time, right? And then the place is burned up, and you burn up with it because you were lost in time, because you didn't catch up. That's what I mean by lost in time. That's what a disbeliever is. See, because the time changes. What happened when in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Time came, right? And those people that was lost in time, they were still there when the meteors came and burned up the damn place. They were still there. See? When the flood came, the people that was on time was in the ark. Those people was out of time, right? They was lost in time. They were still back there. They didn't keep up with the flood, so therefore they was overcome and drowned by the flood. That's what we mean by you lost in time. Time is constantly changing, but we give it form. See, Noah gave it form by building the ark. And that form, right, see, was successful and kept them moving through time. Abraham and Lot, right? They knew to get their ass out. It was time to move on because time was moving. And so they left, and the people that were still lost at time were still there when the meteors came. You understand, brothers and sisters? The jinn. Who are the jinn? You have no idea what the jinn. Oh, you can't see them. Oh, no. We see them. We know who the jinn are. First, you have to know who Adam is. If you know who Adam is, you definitely know who the jinn is, because the jinn, right, was those, right, of bliss that refused to submit to Adam. Refused. I'm not going to do it. You got to sympathize with them somewhat, because why would you want to submit to someone that's going to make me for shed blood? On the face of it, you say, yeah, man, I'll be down with that. Man, I would submit to them anyway. Man, why am I submit to someone who's going to make me shed blood? He must be serving Satan. Why am I going to submit to him? I mean, if I submit to him, I'm going to have to be making me shed blood if that's what he wants me to do. But he's going to be a ruler in the earth. Right? That's Adam. But anyway, Jinn said, I'm not going to do it. So, once you understand what Adam is, we're going to talk about Adam in a minute. See, they say Adam is everybody. They say Adam is all people. But the angels, they spirit beings. That's what the Sunnis tell you. See, that's how I lost in time. See, because it makes no sense. But back then, it made time 1,400 years ago, it don't make any sense today if you understand science, you have any knowledge of the times. Because if the angels spirit beings that Adam cannot see, then how in hell can he rule them? And how in hell can they submit to him when he can't even see them? How can they obey him when he can't even see him or hear him, even though they're obeying? See, it makes no sense. But that's what they believe. And then a bliss, double makes no sense, is the fact that a bliss is being cursed by God because he refused to submit to Adam, who the Sunnis say the jinn are not even angels. So how can they be faulted for doing something they wasn't commanded to do? Because command went to the angels, but they say the jinn are not angels. So that means how? So that makes no sense right there. Right there, I'm saying you find no sense, no logic in Sunnism, because it's not Islam. Islam is mathematics, and mathematics Islam. And if they was Islam, it would make sense because it'd be logic. There's no logic to what they believe in that case. So obviously, the jinn has to be angels. Okay? So if we understand, let's say Adam's all of us. So that means all of us were made mission by all of us. We're all evil. That's what it's saying. But we was given rule. See? So if God gave us, we're sinful, then what problem you got with Satan then? Because I mean, that would be Satan's rule, wouldn't it? Big mission shed blood, wouldn't that be Satan's rule? That don't make sense right there either, does it? See? Then they say, well, Iblis is Satan. Well, Iblis is Satan. He should have no problem with submitting to Adam. Because, I mean, that would be his kingdom, right? Making shit. See, none of that shit makes any damn sense. None of it. Because if Bliss is Satan, he should have been all happy. Yeah, man, I'm down with that. Make men shed blood. Yeah, I'm on top of that one. But you don't want to be bothered with that. So how does that work? So we're going to see in a minute. I'm going to jump ahead here. Adam represents, right, the Europeans. This society you see, because they're the ones that's ruling. They're the only ones ruling. The Chinese ain't ruling. The Japanese ain't ruling. Africans ain't ruling. The Asians ain't ruling. We definitely ain't ruling. Only one ruling the Europeans. They're the Adam. They're the ones that got control right now. And we're the ones submission, so we must be the angels. But who is the only group of people that totally refuse, right, to submit to this culture, to European culture, European technology, everything? The Arabs, the Sunnis, Arab Sunnis, only ones. We ain't doing it. Because they ain't doing God's will. They're the only ones not doing it. They're the jinn. They're the only ones not doing it. I'm not going to submit. Not just them, right? But I mean, you got their other families like the Afghans and whatever, but primarily because that's the ones. They're the only ones. They have no technology there. They don't tend to have any, right? They did not all assist in the banking system, everything. It had nothing to do with any of it. They're the jinn. See? Angel reveals everything. Everything. And the devils. Oh, this get you, man. This definitely get you deplatformed. Who's making men shed blood? Who's controlling? Who's the major? Whose works is the world under? They're under the works of a righteous Jesus or the works of Satan. See, because the devil serves Satan. He serves Satan because Satan is the God of this world. That's what Jesus said. So he says, your father's the devil. He said, your works he will do. So who are the works of America? Are they works of God? Or the righteous Jesus? Righteous God? Are they works of Satan? Murder, rape, genocide, stole this country from the people, killed, wiped off all the people that own this country, right? Natural owners, dragged over here and raped us and beat us and molested us and everything for over 20 years. No, took our humanity from us, everything. Whose works were those? They're the works of Jesus, the righteous Jesus, or the works of the devil? Answer that question. I pose a question to people. I say, well, what if devil, Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Lucifer, Dracula, you name it, demons. What if they had came over here instead of Columbus and his horde? What could they have done that Columbus and his people didn't do? If he was that came up with Columbus and behind Columbus. See what I'm saying? So then you know who you're dealing with. This is not the works of God, not a righteous God, a wicked God, because Satan's called a God as well. He's a God. So that's what they know who the devils are. So they don't want to be called that. Of course they don't want to be called that. See? Because it said Satan could appear as an angel of light. So and devils also, they with him. See, we're good people. But where's the good? Tell me where the good is. Show me where the good is. Oh, well, we're making progress. That means that if you're making progress toward being good, that means you ain't good. We make progress towards racial equality. That means there's none. Why? And if you're so good, why we always got to beat you and push you and march and sit in all that kind of stuff to make you do good? If you're good, you see. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each one because there's a lot of them going through. I'm trying to. I'm just putting it out there, brothers and sisters. Legion. These are just facts. They don't want to hear it. See, because what it said in Exodus, oh, see, the book's corrupt, but God said he's perfected his light. So if God gave us a light for end times to guide us, and he allowed some knucklehead to take and corrupt that light, I mean, what kind of God would he be? See? In that context, right, if Satan is God of this world, and the most powerful country in this world was not serving him, then how kind of God would he be? Because he did say, we tried to tempt Jesus, he said, all these nations belong to me. And Jesus did not argue with him on that, did he? He just said, no, no. That means that he got to control all of them. Except Jesus and those with him. So, if you follow Exodus, it's very clear. It's under a veil, but it's a thin veil enough to give you some light. It tells you all you need to know. Pharaoh would come to God, he raised Elijah. Elijah would teach 40 years, and then you're under the line of Aaron for 40 years, 42 years. He would make war with the saints. With the saints. We'll talk about it in a minute. He overcome them. He's called son of perdition. He's also called legion. Son of perdition would overcome the saints for 42 years. Big war. So if the saint, so who are the saints? Saints are going to inherit the kingdom. So if you're a so-called father Elijah Muhammad, and you understand that we're going to inherit the kingdom, then the saints must be FOI. I mean, who? I mean, they're the ones going to inherit the kingdom, right? So that means they will be under control of this son of perdition for 42 years. So if that hasn't happened yet, that means you got 42 years of hell waiting for you. Unless it happened, and said it wouldn't happen until Elijah departed. So how can you be confused on that? Because he hasn't built anything. He's not fighting Elijah Muhammad's teeth. He's not giving you Elijah Muhammad's vision. All you got to do is check what he says. He says he's giving Elijah Muhammad's vision. He's giving you Satan's vision. We're not going anywhere. We want to stay here. We bring devils into the NOI. 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 Pimping his sisters. It tells you that he's the demon because the first one that Asuma made war with was the demons. Read my book of Mark. And it says his name was Legion. Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI turned backwards. You're turning it all the way backwards. Louis, you can change that last name all you want to. It's Louis Eugene Grounds. That's him, Farrakhan, who follows the devil. That makes him a demon. A demon is a master's dark, black-skinned children. They're his seed. The chaff that was sown amongst the wheat. That's what a demon is. Half demon, half man. He's one of them. His father's the devil, who raped his mother, where she tried to abort him 3 times and failed. That's why he's trying to abort him, because she had been raped by him. He's so like father, like son. His father raped his mother, and he's raping the NOI. Been raping 42 years. He's son of perdition. Says he would be revealed after the falling away. He tried to switch it around. Oh, the falling away is, I reveal who the Jews are, and now everything's falling away. And that's not what it says. It says, to be not deceived, so it makes it very clear. The falling away would come first, and then the man of sin will be revealed. See, because what was the falling away? When Elijah Muhammad departed, there was no Nation of Islam because they got rid of it. And everybody fell away. And then a couple of years later, he pops up. Son of perdition revealed. See? We know who all these people are. That's why he's disemboweled. The angel revealed all of it. Then Dajjal. See? That's Satan. There you go. There's Dajjal right there. See? So it's blind in one eye and have bright in the other eye. I'm not going into the details of that, right? But that's what Dajjal is. It's also Goliath, who Pharaoh is going to be about to take down. False Israel, stolen our identity. They've stolen our identity, tend to be us. They were established in 1948 as as a counter to Elijah Muhammad's narrative, it was as a counter narrative to Elijah Muhammad's declaration that we're true seed Abraham. Because a few years before, a couple of years before, or even a year before, they was going up, Hitler was burning them up in chimneys. Whole world hated them, even America. America hated them, the whole world hated them. So how in the hell, after a year later, they asked to become honeypots and everybody's eating the honey? For thousands of years, these people were hated. Thousands. Thousands. They claim them to be seed Abraham. They're not even close. They call us anti-Semitic. We can't be anti-Semitic. We're the true Semites. We're the true ones. Semite means those that spoke that Arabic language, see, and the Hebrew language. They never spoke that. When they came out of Europe, they invented this co-Hebrew they talking. Ashkenazis. See, even they recognized, right? They stole that idea. They adopted that religion. It had nothing to do with them whatsoever. See? But they use it to take over other people's country. That's why America back so much, right? Partly because that's how America got started, took over people's country, so they can't say anything wrong with that. See? But they stole our identity. And the thing is that this crisis is all about them and all about us. That's why everybody's smiling at the Middle East, because they're stolen our identity. And so the Bible says, well, those who help Israel, God will support Israel, God will support them. Those who hate Israel, God will destroy them. So therefore, if you believe that, that means that you got to do everything or go out and help these people. But we're the true seed of Abraham, and they're the ones that they hurting, so they about to be destroyed, hurting us. And because helping them ain't doing no good. That's why America's America's going broke, trying to support something that's failing. But they know they did it because they could not have that idea take root in America that we're true seed Abraham. Because that would change the whole texture. That would change the whole reality of America, the whole reality of the world. Because if we're true seed Abraham, what does that make them? Oppressors, devils, evil, oppressing God's people. They don't want that narrative. So they set up a counter over there. But see, what the problem is that part of the prophecy is, aside from the 400 years, which they never put 400 years anywhere, that once they return, they would never be uprooted. That's the problem, because they're about to be uprooted. And once they're uprooted, that's going to F up everybody. I mean, it's going to destroy their minds. Because this whole reality is based on this whole reality that you are involved in right now, that they're creating, is the fundamental, the foundation of it is that they're the true seed of Abraham. Once they go down, it takes the whole foundation out, snatch it out, and everybody know if you take the foundation of the house, it's going to collapse immediately. Just collapse. Because all this reality that we see right now is based on them being the true seed of Abraham. And that's about to be crushed. That idea is about to be destroyed, deteriorated, totally destroyed. And that's going to send shockwaves to the world. It's going to drive people mad. It's going to drive people insane. See? That event. And then, right? Shock. Right? Pulsing shockwave. And before that shockwave can really fans just, I mean, before they can really try to adjust from that one, bam, then what's the counter? The counter, if not them, it must be us. And that's even a greater shockwave. One right after another. The shock of the hour. It's going to drive them insane. You watch. That's why it says the abomination called desolation. It's this great destructive event that's going to take place. It's because of that. When they go down, they're going to take senile Biden, because this happened in a few more days, unless Because they say Trump is going to be back in office in a couple of days, or whoever's in there, right? It's going to be so much pressure on them to revive this immediately. They can't go down. It's impossible. They can't go down. That can't happen. And he don't want to go back over there because this guy's ass kicked by those thing called UFOs. His military, they're not going to tell you. That's why he's going into stuff right now to get you confused right now because they know they get ready to go to war with them things. So they're not going back over there. But they're going to be so much under pressure, evangelicals, primarily this country, that they got to do something to revive Israel. Just went down. That they're going to do something that's going to cause, it says, abomination, a desolation, abomination of a desolation. So it's a total destructive event like nobody's ever imagined before. That's going to take place, right? They call it too the abomination of desolation, or the abomination, of course, desolation. I'm saying it's two ways they call it, but it's anyway, it's in the book of Daniel. Oh, the abomination they call appallment. It's going to appall the whole world. It's going to be so destructive, so terrible. Because they just can't, right? It's like you wake up one morning, right? And suddenly, aliens have took over the planet and they're eating everybody. And nothing you can do about it. I mean, it'd be a bigger shock than that. There's a land, all of a sudden, run around just eating everybody, and we can't do anything about it. It's going to be a greater shock than that. A double shock. They take down, and then they have to come to grips that we have to be the true seed of Abraham. And what all that means. And what does that mean who they are? What does that mean to the world? What does that mean to the Middle East? Right? Because that means that land's ours. And they don't want to get that land up. The shockwaves to the whole world. And it's about to happen. Because that's not supposed to happen. And they're not supposed to ever be destroyed once they go back. Because they're not the true seed. Death. You don't know about this neither. Who knows? When they talk about death, see, in the injury, you think, oh, death. Oh, well, death is the fourth horse. No, that's a bad translation, transliteral. Death is the horse above it. Why they call them death? See, death's Oriental nation. Why they call them death? That's a big mystery. See? Because they're going to be the ones that's going to finally destroy Europe. Hades is going to be right behind. Who's Hades? Hades, India. But it's death that's going to destroy them. Why do they call them death? I'm not going to go into the details about that, but they're worse than Europeans. If you understand their creation, they're more technical, because the whole thing about you, remember, Yaqub emphasized the technical side, the analytical brain. But it's still this little space, but they went all the way, see? Because, back in the day, so to speak, right, they used to call people that, they used to call them retarded, and they call them mentally challenged, right? Now they call them, I guess, mentally challenged, right? They call them retarded, used to call them mongoloid, then they call them retarded, then mentally challenged. I think they have some crazy names for them now, right? Why do they call them mongoloids? See, remember they had to make that narrative to clean up, because Elijah Muhammad, when he was building this truth, before I gave him, they start cleaning up stuff, because hey, they had to set up a false Israel, right? They had to clear up that idea about mongoloids, because that was proof of what Yaqub was talking about. What he was talking about Yaqub, because when they started the grafting process, they call it genetic engineering now. Remember, this went on 600 years, but he wasn't around when it found. So how they knew when to stop? How they had never seen this before. No one had seen this before, what the creation would look like. So how did they know when to stop? Because they got to the point where they wasn't viable anymore. They wasn't viably human, viably intelligent, because they had to be intelligent creatures to rule. So when they start going to when they start producing right so-called mongoloid children, then that's when to stop, because they wouldn't be able to rule anything because the intelligence level was really low. You notice how all mongoloid children look alike? I don't care what color they are; they all look alike. Is that? And the thing is, they have a different genetic makeup than humans do have. Technically, they're not even human. Technically, they're not even human because they have a different extra chromosome that takes them outside of the human condition. So apes have a chromosome structure very close to ours, very close, but it's different. So therefore, they're not considered human. And mongoloid children have an additional chromosome, which take them technically out of the human condition. Technically. So that means they went a little further than the Europeans. Europeans was the object. They went a little further. So what they did. So they're more technical. That's why you go over there. Look how technical they are. They're not creative. They haven't come up with any nothing. They haven't come up with any creativity. They steal all the information from all other countries, and then they take it, and they very skilled technicians, and they boom, they run away with it. Highly technical, not creative. Their music not affecting the world. Nothing creative, no creativity come out of there. But technical skill is higher than even the Europeans, and everybody acknowledges that. That's why the Japanese and the Koreans are kicking everybody's ass with the car industry and everything. They didn't invent that, but once they got it, even the Japanese, they didn't come in. They forced them. Admiral Perry forced them to come into the so-called this technical world, and when they did, they took all the information they got. Man, they had a super army and everything, but no creativity. It was all based on this knowledge that was available. They took it to a higher level because they're very technical. That's why I call them death. See, because the point is, when you understand AL-INJIL, when you had the ark, right, New Jerusalem, that lion fish time, the mother plane is New Jerusalem. I'll say, so we're going to live on the mother plane when it comes here. That's so stupid. That's not New Jerusalem, dummy, right? It's the new configuration. But the Orientals are left out because they're deaf, because they got that different structure. And if we allow them to keep intermingling that, wow, it'll corrupt the whole nation. Everybody would be in that condition. Everybody would be mentally challenged. See? So the idea is that once this happened, I mean, they didn't do it the first child. Once a bunch happened, it's okay, we can't go any further. Then they had to decide, we're going to get rid of all these children, or we're going to what? So the only thing they could do is say, well, we got to give them away to civilization because we can't keep competing with anybody because their mental capability is lower than everybody else's. So they move far north as possible, away from civilization as much as possible, right? You can't teach them architecture, all that kind of stuff. So you have to teach them what? You can't teach them writing. You have to teach them on third, second grade level, right? Picture language. Can't teach them manufacturing, right? They can't manufacture forks. So you give them 2 twigs, eat with. You can't teach them farming, so you tell them, give them chips, simplest farming there is, rice, we just stump it. You get my drift? See? They can't hunt, so you give them domesticated dog, so you eat dog. They love dog. You get my drift? And because they weren't, right, their intelligence level, the Europeans, right, and other people, once they was in the cage for 2,000 years, other people, right, they would come and do what they want to do, and they rape the women, whatever. So that's how that IQ level got raised. And they separated to different groups. See? But they're more deadly than the devils are. More deadly. That's why I call them death. And they will be amongst those that finally go to take us out. That'd be the final war of Armageddon. But they're going to take out the Europeans. They're the goat in Daniel that invade, coming from the west or the Pacific Ocean, hits the ram, that's American Britain, and destroys it. So you don't know who death, you didn't know who death was before. They're dead. They're the ones death. Europeans are called a second death. Let's take a small break here, brothers and sisters. I want to say one other thing about the Mongols. The Mongols. The Mongols are the only, they're more deadly than Europeans. They're the only people that's ever effectively really defeated the Europeans. When Genghis Khan came off the steppe, they could not do anything. He wiped them out. They could not withstand him. Oh, the Sunnis, I mean, Muhammad's empire was able to buy them up in Europe for 1,000 years, but never decisively defeated them. Only ones ever defeated them was the Mongols. They're afraid of those Mongols. When they come off the steppe, they went all the way down. They went through Europe like a hot knife through toilet paper. No one could stop them. They wiped out everybody in their path. Then they went out into Arabia. The Arabians couldn't stop them. And those brothers, they were tough. Those brothers was tough, right? And they couldn't stop them. They went right through them too, until they got down to the north coast, the north coast of Egypt, right? Right there. Ran to those Mamelukes. Now, they won't tell you the truth about the Mamelukes. See, Mamelukes was a black slave army that the Arabs, they kidnapped black women, black children from Africa, and trained them up as soldiers from birth. You get a little hint of this story in a movie called Game of Thrones. They had black slave army, and then you had the Dothrakis, right? See, which had I forget what they call them, right? But the Dothrakis, they was Mongoloids. They lived just like that, right? And then you had the black slave army. I can't think what they call them right now. So they was actually give you some history, but there was a black slave army. See, now when they slavery, when time of service over, they blended back to they was Muslim. They was trained up as Muslims, and so they didn't treat them like they did over here. I get that to them. They were slave army. Once they was over, they moved right into community. Some of them became officials and everything else. Unsullied, that's what they call the black ones, the unsullied. And they called the other ones, the black slave on Manselli, and they called the Dothrakis, they was the really Mongols. And those brothers was tough. Genghis Khan moved to Europe, moved to Arabia. He ran to those Mongols on the north coast of that. They didn't want to tell you about this. North coast of Africa, and they whooped Genghis Khan's ass, sent him back to the steppe, and he never came back again. They never came back again. They whooped his ass so bad. See, they ain't telling about the history because they want you to know about that. Now they try to say, well, it was a mixed army. No, it was your ancestors, brothers and sisters, because they don't want you to think that, because they know if you come together as an army, see, they're more afraid of you because they was afraid of Mongols, and you beat the Mongols. You kicked their ass. See, they don't want you to know your history, brothers and sisters. They don't want you to know that. And these demons are full time like Farrakhan. Make sure you never get it. Bring the devil to NOI. Gog and Magog. Ask who Gog and Magog is. They don't know. They have no idea. They have all kinds of crazy ideas who Gog and Magog is. They think Gog and Magog is going to come at the end of time, like we're not in the time right now. They don't know who Gog and Magog is. Chapter 20, Angel tells you exactly who Gog and Magog is. Adam and Eve. And they rule at the end. Yeah, Adam and Eve. Adam, then Eve. That Eve came out the side of Adam. That's the whole story of Adam and Eve. So Gog is America, and Magog, the mother of Gog, is Britain. That's what Gog and Magog is talking about in the Quran. So they was sealed up. Who sealed them up, right? The Al-Quran sealed them up. The Muslims sealed them up for like 1,000 years. That's what it says in chapter 20. They were sealed up for 1,000 years, bottled up in Europe. Satan and the devils will tell you who Satan and the devils are. That's why I keep telling you chapter 20 is in the future. I keep telling you it's in the future. Because if you know it's in the past, you go back and look at it and you figure out, and then you know right away, right, who they are, right? And you know who we are. You know, Islam is the right way, at least to the extent, right? Because as soon as it got all messed up. But the point is, Prophet Muhammad was the legitimate prophet, so what he presented Islam. So that's why I tell you it's in the future. Millennia is in the future. Or Jesus going to come back. Then he's going to take, because Jesus, when he come back, he ain't return. He said he's never going to leave again. But he said, no, in this case, see, he's never going to leave again. But in this case, he's going to stay for 1,000 years. Then he's going to leave. Then he's going to let Satan rule for a season. And then he's going to put Satan down. No, this is a season that Satan is ruling right now. This is Satan. They've been loose out of their pit. They was in dark age for 1,000 years. This history, they were loose for a period, 500 years. Satan's rule says God can make our spread all over the planet. They didn't know about the whole planet until 500 years ago. And they have spread all over the whole planet. Like I said, and then it said at the end, they would circle a holy city, talking about the Middle East. Those people bow them up and said they bring fire out of heaven. They got drones, darken the city, darken all of the Middle East, drones, dropping drones on hellfire missiles on people 24/7, 365. That's exactly what's happening. The skies are dark with drones all in the Middle East, just blowing up people. So they would have fire come out of heaven inside of men. And then they'll be destroyed. It's right there in chapter 20, brothers and sisters. That's who Gog and Magog is. America and Britain. Adam and Eve. The Adam of the Bible. School. Make rich and shed blood. Then the angels. Well, if we know who Adam is, it says, told the angels submit to him. So who submitted to Adam? We did. We submitted to Adam. Right here we submitted to Adam. So who's told to submit? Wasn't told to kiss his ass, but that's what most of us are doing. And Adam, we were supposed to submit to Adam, but Adam took it much further than that. He took it much further than that. He told him, says, don't mess with this tree. Didn't God tell him, don't mess with this tree? But he did anyway. So now they're going to pay the price. Those are angels. The original nation in America. I ain't talking about the demons. We got demons mixed up. We're plagued by demons. We're plagued by demons. Who are the demons? Right? That's master's children. Black-faced children. They look like us, walk like us, talk, but they ain't us. The book of Mark said we was plagued by them. The angel said we was plagued by them. And half of the black people in America are demons. Master's children. The letter said it'd be 17 million original people. There wasn't 70 million people, original people back in the 20s and 30s when that was. It's about now, because it's 34 million, so half of it is 17 million. That means 17 million is original, 17 million are demons. Now, Farrakhan, he's a demon, follows the devil. He's filled the nation of Islam with demons. That's what it says. He's Peter. It says he would fill the church with demons. I'm not going to that story, right? See, about, it says on this rock I build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And you misread that whole thing. Because something doesn't prevail, that means it fails. And the subject is the church, hell, and the gate between them. Gate is designed to keep the demons and the devils in. So if it doesn't prevail, that means it fails. So if it fails, then the demons and the devils can run into the church. So Peter filled the church up with demons. And he wants to fill them with devils because he already got them on record saying he wants to take and bring devils to NOI. Because he's son of the devil himself. Son of perdition. See? But you think that the angels are, wait, can't see them. The saints. Remember said the son of perdition have control of the saints. Saints are Levites. The Levites, as children of Israel, was over here together. The Levites was grafted in. Elijah was a Levite. And all his followers were considered Levites except for Suleiman, who came to him because that was John, and demanded that he baptize him, even though John or Elijah didn't want to do it. He said, I'm not worthy to do it. He said, no, you got to do it. So that means he initiated him to Islam. See, they're all Levites. If you read the stuff of Exodus, right, they're the ones, right, that eventually, right, because it was them and the demons that was following Aaron, and Levites that was there, they was in the mix, right? That he had, because remember it said, some this would prevail against him, so he had them in there too. But then it says, Elijah separated the two out. And I said, those who are with the Lord, with Suleiman, come with me. That's the Levites. And the demons stayed with Farrakhan. And so he had the Levites slay all the demons, including Farrakhan, Aaron. That's the story. So he said he would make war with the saints, overcome them. He said, how he made war with the saints? Because he come in claiming he's teaching live Muhammad teaching, but he confused them. And he confused them, deceived them. And so they had him see before Jesus, because they were supposed to build a bridge between Moses and Joshua, or Elijah and Suleiman. That's supposed to do that for a 2-year period. Instead, they built mansions for Lion Farrakhan, his disemboweled pimp ass. Right? And so now they got to go through tribulation. That's what it says in Mark, because what happened? In Mark, once the demons were separated out of him, he got his mind back, but he wasn't allowed to go with Jesus. He had to stay back in tribulation, right? To get the rest of the lost found that he should have been ministered to, right? That got caught because they lost in time. See? So now they caught up in time. See? But they can't move forward unless they bring those forward. Because they like time exhibits, they got to bring the lost ones forward because that's their responsibility. See? So they got to bring them. So they can't move any forward in time. So they stuck here in America. They can't move forward until they bring them along too. Moses, the messenger of Allah. He's the one raised up. They don't like it. He said, Prophet Muhammad's last one? No. He said, he's a seal of the prophets. Show me the context where seal means last. There's no context where seal means last. Context means certified, right? Certified something or protected. See? And where Prophet Muhammad certified, right? That all the scriptures were from God. That's what it means he's a seal. Because they tell you, oh, well, the Quran tells you, you got to believe in all the books. Those revealed before thee and after. But they tell you, no, the ones before is corrupt. Well, the Quran says you can't be a Muslim, you believe in all of them. But see, they don't want to believe in the old ones because they time makers, they lost in the past. Oh, you can't believe in that stuff. Well, Elijah Muhammad said, Elisha would perfect his light. Does that sound like his light be corrupt? That means he would allow some fool to corrupt his light. He couldn't protect his light. So, because they don't want to hear the old, because if they go to the Old Testament, that means they can't, sanctify, right, Prophet Muhammad, make him, or what he trying to make him to be, because they'd have to acknowledge that there'd be a prophet after him, Elijah Muhammad. They don't want to do that. Because the Quran's last. Nothing else after him. And there's the God. Oh, boy. Master Prophet Muhammad, a lying person. Say, well, I will come myself. That's what I want to do with the old Bible. The sealed Bible, or the unsealed Bible. I will come myself. So if he's everywhere, how he's coming? You don't have to come anywhere. He's everywhere. I'll come myself. See? But they don't want to accept that God is a man. See? Like it says, if we made him an angel, we'd have made him a man. They can't deal with that. So it's such confused. They don't want to deal with all that. So we're not going to argue with them about that. That's a lot in person. The original nation. Maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. We're God of the universe. But now these clowns, Farrakhan, talking for our praise. He's the God, right? God's a man, but he prayed. So who is he praying to then? Then we should be worshiping the one he's praying to, right? So who is that? Farrakhan. Who is that? Ishmael. Some mystery God you done made up. That's why you got rid of your archives. Because you know the guy said the bullshit you've been talking all these years, you try to erase it, trying to erase the evidence. Not going to work. The dragon. Who's the dragon? Angel reveals everything. I'm not going to the details, right? I'm giving you information, you go research it. A dragon, right, is House of Sod, and his angels are America, Israel, America, false Israel, and Britain. That's his angels. And what the Quran says, do not make the Christian friends, take the Christian friends for Jews. Are you one of them? Why is this House of Sod taking them for friends? That means they're not Muslim. The angel said they're not Muslim. They said they're Hindus. That the British put on the throne to protect their oil supply. That's the dragon. They're against the Shia, but they're friends. Shia are Muslims, but they'd rather be with the Christian and Jews than to be with the Shia. And Shia are Muslims. They praise Allah. They believe, they say 5 prayers and everything. That's what a dragon is. See? So revealing everything. The angel reveals everything. So you don't be confused by anything. You know who everybody is. And all these are your enemies. Because the Sunni, they was the one that ran us out of Arabia to begin with. They didn't want to betray us into Egypt, threw us in the well. They betrayed us. That's the whole story about Joseph. They betrayed us. Because they say this land belongs to them. Because they say the oldest son, Ishmael. But we're the son that was blessed, Isaac, the one blessed by God, and he was one to be an inheritance. They say, no, we should be an inheritance because we're the oldest son. Yeah, but you weren't the oldest son by Sarah, Abraham's wife. You was by his maid, his Hindu maid. See? So they ran us off land. And so they're going to attack us. They're attacking us now with their false religion. See, the Sunnism, because they don't want us to think of Abrahamic covenant. So they want us to be Sunnis, because in Sunnis, we ain't nothing. There's no Abrahamic covenant in Sunnis. We're nothing. So they want to deceive us. And if we somehow escape Christianity, right, they got another net for us. That's what Farrakhan doing. If you escape Christianity, then he got the Sunni net for you. Because he said we're not going anywhere. And that's the meat of the Abrahamic covenant. You already look. If you already paid, you buying a Lamborghini on installment, right? So after 10 years, you don't pay for it. So what's the reward? The reward is you get the Lamborghini. So let me tell you don't get the Lamborghini. That means the whole process was in vain. It mean nothing. The contract, nothing mean anything. That means they lied to you because that's the whole purpose that you pay for. So now if we already paid the price to go home and he's telling you ain't going nowhere, and we already paid the price, what the hell we come over here for? Oh, well, you came over here because you were sinful. You're being punished. See, that takes the devils off the hook. Because if we sinful is punished, that means they can't be blamed and judged for beating us and tormenting. Because they was doing God's will. Because we are supposed to be punished. You don't get mad at the warden and the guards in jail for punishing the prisoners. That's what they're supposed to do. You understand what that lying Farrakhan is doing? That's the whole thing. That's what it's all about. See? So we're in Sunnism, because they ain't give them that land, but they get ready to give it up. Because Farad's getting ready to take it from them. Him and his Shia good. Just remember, Farad and his angels, Michael's angels. Who is Michael? They don't know who Michael is. Michael's Farad. He's the one going to deliver us, right? So is there going to be some other deliverer? Then he got to be Michael. And it says Michael's angels, right? That's the Shia are going to war with Dragon and his angels. And Dragon angels going to lose that war, get kicked out of the Middle East, kicked out of heaven. And that's going to kick off Armageddon. See, that war, which is about to take place. Two Satans going down at the same time. The Satan over here, Farrakhan, and Satan over there, falls Israel. Said they're going to see him falling from heaven like lightning. They're going down at the same time. Oh, Farrakhan, his days is numbered. He's over. He's already in trouble over there. He's got trouble that you ain't know about. He's already in trouble. He's drying up. He's getting hit hard. It says Suleiman would devour him with the spirit of his mouth and destroy him. The brightness coming. He's being devoured. People are not listening to him anymore. He's falling apart. His whole system's falling apart over there. He's not producing anything, and now he's not getting any money anymore. People ain't showing up at these events. And plus, he got conflict within the group, in the nation, in there, because people, right, they're tired of listening to him. They're about to dispose him. They're going to be disposed from within. And then the ancient days will set. Paradise. That's our vision. That's the biblical vision. That's the Quranic vision. Paradise. A biological paradise. A garden as wide as heavens and earth. See? Gardens where rivers flow. Right? Well-made lawns and all that kind of stuff, right? That's our vision. That they don't want to come in because this whole system, this whole biological world is against them. It's already destroying them. All diseases stuff that produced by them. They produce all these diseases stuff that never came from us. That didn't exist. All the stuff they're doing, the whole planet's being corrupt by them. That Quran says the earth must be relieved its burden because they're burden on the earth, because they're destroying the ecological system, because they're averse to it. It's just they're at war with it. They're at war with it. That's why it's saying, global warming and everything. How can they do anything about it? So why are they paying nuclear bombs that can destroy the ecological system? Their nuclear arsenal, and they're pushing for war. They're saying they're expecting war. They're already telling you. You pay attention to news. They expect for a nuclear war with China. Which thing would be like? That's going to destroy the biological world. Because they're trying their vision to bring this mechanical world. All these computers, all that kind of stuff. That's the cyborgs. They're telling you the Terminator movie, $1 Million Man, and that guy's one of his brother. Now he's in the military over there. Trying he's a cyborg himself or android. Cyborg is like got a robot body, but you got a biological brain. Android, you're totally android. I mean, totally mechanical. And then you got robot. And all this stuff. They're heavily trying to bring that in because they can't survive, and the biological world is destroying them. Look, this virus showed them, shocked them, and they expected more. They're at war. This biological system is at war with them. This is our system. It's at war with them, and they're at war with it. That's what it says. God will destroy those who are destroying the earth because they're at war with it, because they're out of tune. They're out of time with it. That's why they got to take and change the time. That's why they would try to change the time and seasons. They try to change it to a mechanical world where they don't need any of this anymore. Where we'd be destroying the process. There's two visions. Only one will survive. Who will win? What vision will win the war of Armageddon? See? This Farrakhan's vision, the vision we can really see right now, because what? He's saying we're going to stay here with them. Ghetto. See? That's for us. That's where we end up at. But it's also all to see all these cities and everything have. What are they doing? This capitalism and everything. What is building? Is everything doing everything to build this mechanical world? Look at it. You never see anything like you see right now. Everything's almost mechanical. Everything's electronic. You never seen anything like this 20 years ago. And every day it's changed so much. And now you got Amazon talking about some kind of this called street dart, whatever it's called, where they want to take and tap into your Wi-Fi so they can trace everything everybody's doing in the neighborhood. So that's how they can get their vision, right? Through computer vision. See? Because they're at war with the mechanical, this biological world. In fact, we're going to stay here and on. No, they got to go. That's what let's say. They have to go. One vision, it's only one vision can survive this. Which vision will survive War of Armageddon? Ain't no in between. Ain't no gray. It's black or white. Okay, brothers and sisters, I think I covered most of it. There's some things I didn't. I covered the majority of the things. Okay. This is the angel revealed. Now, you didn't know any, 90%, most of you didn't know any of this unless you've been studying the angel. You didn't know any of this. You didn't know any of it. You know who these things were. And that's what they wanted. They're invisible. You can't do anything about it. Just believe. Well, if you was a Hindu, you'd tell you the same thing. So why all these religions, there's only one reality? It tells you there's only one reality. So why you got all these other what's all these other realities then? Because that's what religions are, realities, right? But they're not real realities, because the only reality that's real is one that you see around you. Everything you see around you is mathematics. You don't see nothing powered by prayer, by Hinduism, by Christianity, by Judaism, by Sunnism. Nothing powered by any of that stuff. Nothing. Everything's powered by mathematics. Right? A lot of people say Islam is mathematics, mathematics Islam. If it's not mathematics, it's not Islam. And I challenge the Sunnis to show me the mathematics of Sunnism. I challenge a Christian to show me the mathematics of Christianity. I challenge a Hindu, show me the mathematics in Hinduism. I challenge a Buddhist, show me the mathematics. You can't, because there's none. Because they're all designed to deceive you, to get you to think non-mathematically, because you separate the creator from the creation. Because once they separate you from the creation, then they can lead you to give you the vision of destruction, self-destruction. Because any vision that's not mathematical is the vision of hell and destruction. Assalamu alaikum.